Hi guys, Mr. B here. In today's video, what we're going to be looking at is number lines, and we're going to be looking at how we can use them and how we can find different numbers on them. So we're just going to jump straight in, okay? So we've got two number lines here on the board. We have one between 0 and 10, and we have one between 0 and 10. Deja vu. So we have two number lines. Now you can see they're slightly different because this one has more markers going down it than this one. Okay. Now whatever we're doing on a number line, where there's normally the first task, not normally, this is the first thing that we always need to do, whatever questions we've really got on them, and that is to work out how much each of these lines is going to cost. Okay, so if someone said, what is that number there? We need to know how much each one of these lines is to work that out. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to count the gaps or the jumps. Now, this is important because people always make a little mistake. So we're going to count the jumps all the way to 10, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 jumps, okay? Or you might want to count the gaps. 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap, 4 gap, 5 gap, 6 gap, 7 gap, 8 gap, 9 gap, 10 gaps, okay? What some people do is they will count the lines and they'll miss one out. They'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? They won't count the last one. So they'll go up and they'll miss the last one out. And that means what they're going to work out is going to be wrong, okay? So we need to work out what that is on there. Now this one, we've got 10 lines and it goes from 0 to 10. So it's a quite easy one. We could say it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I can see there that it's going to go from 0 all the way to 10. 10 jumps, so each jump must be an extra plus 1. Okay, so that's an easy one. So if someone said me, what's that number? We've worked it out. Can put the numbers on the bottom for it, or you just count. We could say that number there is 4. Brilliant. However, it isn't always that easy. Okay, we don't always have numbers that just go from 0 to 10, and each jump is going to be 1. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and find the same one, but I'm going to change what we call the scale on this number line here. I'm going to put another 0 here. So this is going to go from 0 to 100. Now, if each jump was 1, I don't think we'd be right. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Long way away from 100. So I know that that one isn't right. So now, this is where I really have to know what to do to work out. Okay, so sometimes you can see a pattern. You can see 0 to 10, 100. Let's try. Okay, what we call a trial and error. You might say, let's see if it's 5 each time. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. We're wrong, it's not 5. So then I say, right, it's going to be more than, because 100 is more than 50. Let's try 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Jackpot, we've got it. However, this is another easy one really that we have going from 0 to 100. So we can use trial and error, but sometimes when we use trial and error, which means trying something, see if it's working, if it's not, try another number, can take a long time. So we need to know, what can we do to let us know what they're going to be? Well, the first thing is we need to know the difference between from this number to this number. Now we're handy now because we're going from 0. So 0 to 100 is 100, isn't it? So we're going up 100. And then we need to do that first rule that I said, count your gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have 10 gaps. Now what I'm going to do to find out what each gap is, although we already know this time, is we are going to divide them. So that sign means divide. It means share. It means I'm going to say how many 10s are in 100. So I scratch my head, how many 10s in 100? I know my 10 times table. I know that there are 10 10s in 100. So my answer is 10. So that now tells me that each jump must be 10. So when we go up there, that's plus 10. And we go up there, we plus 10. And we keep going up, every one is plus 10. So it means what our scale on the bottom is going to look like is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on all the way up. I can stop because I've got my number. So that number there on my number line is 40. So let's use the same rule with a bit of a harder number than 100, okay? So we're going to rub out, because this one's not going to be 10 each time. So there's a little clue for you. Don't say I don't give you anything. Okay, we'll rub a little bit of my number line out, because I'm always a little bit messy, unfortunately. And we're going to change it. And what I'm going to change it to this time is the number 50. Now, I'm not going to count my jumps, because I've already done it. I haven't added any more on these, so I know it's 10. So I would have had to if it was a new one. So I know I've got 10 jumps. But this time the jump is different. Okay? It's 50 because I'm going from 0 to 50. So I'm saying how many 10s are in 50. So I either know my 10 times table, or I could count up in 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There are 5. So my answer is 5. 5, Mr. B, not S. I have to tell myself sometimes. 5. So I know that each jump on this one is going to be plus 5 rather than plus 10. So now, because I've learned my 5 times tables, I'm sure you are really good at them as well, I can count up in 5. So I could just count, but I'm going to make some jottings on my work to make sure I'm right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Now I know my working out was right because I got to 50 doing jumps of 5. And I need to know this number here. So this number here is going to be 20. Okay. Let's work out this one on the bottom. Okay. Again, first rule, count our jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brilliant. We have 5 jumps. So it goes from 0 to 10. So 0 to 10 means we're going up 10. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check. 5 jumps. So now I need to say how many 5s are in 10. So again, I know my 5 times table, or I can count in 5s. 5, 10. So there are 2, 5, 10. Okay? So that means each jump is going to be 2. Let's see if it works. 2, 4, 6, 8. So if someone said, can you put a green line next to 6? I know, it's this one now. I put my jottings on for 6. That one there is 6. So we know our rule works this time. Brilliant. Now, let's get rid of this one so we've got a bit more space. And we're going to use this one again, but we're going to change something. And if you notice, look, boom, I've undone my 0 as well. Because a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, sometime, we are missing, this doesn't start, blah, blah, blah. Let's say that sentence so you can understand it. A lot of the time, our number lines don't start at 0. So let's put our one here. We're going to start at 50 and it's going to go to 100. Now this one is a little bit harder because we need to work out 50 to 100. When we're talking about 0, we can just see what it goes up to. When it's 50 to 100, we need to think, right, where do we get to here? So 50 to 100, what do we have to add on? You could count in 10s, you could count in 5s. If you do your number bonds to 100, you might just know like that your answer is 50. So this time we've got 50. And we've already counted a couple of times. We have 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 jumps, 10 gaps. So now I need to know how many 10s are in 50. We just did that one. There are 5 10s. Let's count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We are right. There are 5. So it jumps to 5 again, but we're not starting at 0, which means we would have 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, then 95 and 100. Okay, so now if someone said where's 80 on the board, where's 85 on the board, where's 90 on the board, we would be able to do it on the board. On my number line I should be saying. So on my number line we'd find them. There's this one 65, there's 90, there's 85. However, people can be sneaky sometimes, especially people who make maths questions, very sneaky, especially people who make maths questions based on number line. And what they can sometimes do, let's start with a nice easy one. Let's start with 0 to 100. We've already worked that out, so I'm going to give you a little hint. Well, not a little hint, because I know for a fact you were listening and you would know this is going up in tens if you worked it out. So I have my number line. Now if someone asks me where's 20, 30, 40, 50, brilliant. But what happens if someone says, Mr. B, where is 41? 41's not on here, but it must be on the number line, because 41 is between 0 and 100, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think, right, what 10 is 41 closest to? Okay, and because it's got a 4 in there, we know we can go straight to our 40s. So we're at 40 here, and I'm going to count and see how far away it is. 40, 41. It's only one away, so it's going to be really close. So that must mean 41 is around about here, right next to 40. I might guess that's something else. Someone has someone come up to me and say, Mr. B, where is 70, let's say 8? So let's go to my 70 and let's count how far away. 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it's quite close to 80. 2 away from 80, so it's probably around about there. Now what can help us with this is if we had someone say, where's 65? This one is an easy one to find, because we will know that 5 is halfway between 60 and 70, isn't it? So that means it must be right in the middle of these two. So that's roughly where 65 would be. So we now know any number bigger than 65 is going to be somewhere around here, and any number lower is going to be around there. So that'll help us find other numbers as well that aren't on the number line. So that's a quick little going over of how to do some questions with some number lines where we're missing the different marks and we have to work them out ourselves. They can be tricky, but when you get a little bit practice, they do get a lot easier. So don't worry if you are struggling with them at first. Hope that video helped you. Until next time, I'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. As the saying goes, I think you've got to smash that like button if that helped you, and I hope it did. If there's any questions or anything else that I can help you with, you can put it in the comments below. I try and help out, or you can contact me on Mr. Biggins123 on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, and I'll try and help you if I can. Okay, obviously subscribe as well. You can see all the videos as they come up, and they might help you with other things that you are doing with your work as well. Until next time, see you later and stay safe.